Hello friends, welcome to Awdhesh Academy. Friends, in last couple of years there has been consistently questions are asked about the crisis of conscience. And in the year 2021, another question of crisis of conscience was asked. But this time it was also associated with the emotional intelligence. So very interesting question has been asked, and today we are going to discuss this question. The question is as following. In case of a crisis of conscience, does emotional intelligence help to overcome the same without compromising the ethical and moral stand that you are likely to follow? Critically examine. Now, this is a very interesting question and a very creative type of question also, because first of all, you have to explain about the crisis of conscience, and we know that conscience is broadly associated with morality, and morality is the mother of ethics. At the same time, when you talk about empathy, which is a very important quality of emotional intelligence, then naturally they get connected with each other. And so the issue here is that can we use emotional intelligence to overcome our crisis of conscience and that way maintain our ethical and moral stand? So very interesting question. So let's now start writing the answer of this question. First of all, we should define what is crisis of conscience. A crisis of conscience happens when we are worrying or feeling uncomfortable because we think that we have done something morally wrong. This is a standard definition of crisis of conscience which we have already given. Now, in the moment of such crisis, we feel guilty and full of remorse. We are filled with very negative emotions, and that emotions does not allow us to sleep, and therefore we have a great desire to clear our conscience by doing some positive things in life so that we can do prayaschit, and prayaschit basically means repentance. That means restoring your conscience to the previous healthy state. Now, the main problem is that when we are in the emotional state, we can't think rationally. When our emotions dominate our mind, we are unable to think rationally. And only when we have emotional intelligence, or we have developed our emotional intelligence, we can think rationally even in emotional state. Because the emotional intelligence itself means that our rational mind controls our emotions. And therefore, only an emotionally intelligent person can manage his emotions during the crisis of conscience and find ways to rectify the errors. Now, let us give some example. For example, if we have lied to our loved one, we can rectify it by developing the courage and admitting to our loved one that we have spoken lies, and that way we can seek forgiveness and we can maintain the status as it was before. In the same way, suppose we have done injustice to any person and we are feeling very guilty about it, we can take all positive actions to ensure justice to that person. And thus the emotionally intelligent person, he can use the crisis of conscience to basically learn from his mistake rather than overwhelmed by it. And once you learn from a mistake, you rectify the moral error and never repeat that mistake in future. So an emotionally intelligent person, even from the crisis of conscience, he is able to learn and improve himself rather than weighed down because of the crisis of conscience. And that is how we can write the answer of this question. Thank you very much.